Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing two looks with the Tom Ford Eye Color Quad in Peach Glamour. This is their newest launch. I'm really excited to dive into this and chat with you. I'm going to be doing two looks for you, sharing my review, thoughts, and experiences at the end. So if you're interested, stay tuned. If you're new here, please consider subscribing before you go. And of course, go ahead and go down and hit that like button now before you forget at the end. It really helps my channel. And yeah, let's go ahead and just jump on into the video. Okay, so here is just a close-up shot of the palette. And then we're going to show you some swatches as well. You can see they look very opaque. Okay, so I have you guys zoomed in a little bit more. Hopefully it stays focused. My camera struggles with that a little bit. I have my eyes primed with my Ulta Beauty Matte Veil Longwear Primer. This is what I will use for every single look. And yeah, let's jump into the first look. God, I'm so excited. It's been a struggle to hold off not using this palette so that I can do this with you guys, because the way it swatched, as you saw, was incredible. So the shade I've been really wanting to dig into is this one right here. So I think I'm going to take this shade first, and I'm actually going to just go into it with my finger because, God, they just feel so like velvety, smooth, reflective foiled. Like it is just, they are like a very foiled metallic. Not sparkly, so if you want something more shimmery, this is not going to be it. Can already tell just by patting that on my lids, it's not sparkly. It is like a foiled metallic, whereas the other quads I have, which are Honeymoon and Body Heat, those are much more shimmery. Which maybe this would be if I went in with a brush, which I will do that for another one of the looks, but this is initially where I wanted to start. To go in with my finger, and then we'll get in there with a smaller brush to really get those like inner corner areas. So yeah, I'm gonna just tap back into this shade with like a smaller brush. That way I can get more in here. I hope you guys can actually see what I'm doing, because the way I have the camera right now so that it can be closer, I can't see in my rigged up mirror behind the camera where I used to kind of like look in. So I don't know, but yeah, that is absolutely stunning so far, I think. Now there's only one deepening shade in here, so obviously that is the shade I am going to take on the outer corner and buff it in. I'm very intrigued by this because the texture of this when I was swatching it was so interesting. Oh wow, yeah, that's going on really nice. And much less intense than I was expecting. I was kind of worried that it might be like overly pigmented, but it's really blending out nicely. I'm gonna tap in with just a like really fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go in just like a little so that I can create a little bit more of a gradient right in there. Wow, I'm actually like really impressed with how this is like blending out to not be overly in my face or in your face or whatever, however you want to say it. I'm gonna just pat a little more right here to deepen that particular part up. That looks beautiful. Really, really easy. It's like, it's just so weird because this matte shadow is like, the texture is not like a traditional powder shadow. I'm trying to think, it's like almost moussey, but it's not a cream, but it's like borderline. Kind of like a cream to powder, but like softer. And I'm like, because of that, I initially am a little bit worried about creasing, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's my dog outside making sure everybody knows he's out there. Honestly, how could we forget? But yeah. Wow, that looks really nice. I'm gonna pop off, do the rest of my face, and then I'll come back for like the final look so we can look at it with everything done, because I'm also gonna take some of this brown on the lower lash line as well. I also too just want to point out that like there is like no fallout. There is a little bit of gold, like that gold color right here, but overall like no fallout, and that's like a big pro in my book, especially like if you're someone who does your base first. This isn't going to create a lot of work for you to clean up. Okay, so here is the finished look, and this is what the eyes are looking like at this time. I think this color story is so pretty, very complimentary of my eye color, which I love to see. I will say, I am already seeing some creasing, you guys. I don't know if you can see that, but I already have some creasing right in here. So that is a little bit disappointing. It means that next time I use this, I will set it with a powder first. But what bothers me about that is that this quad obviously does not come with a setting shade. So this is now not an independent palette, it's a companion palette, which irritates me for the price. But I will try this. I'll do 2 more looks, and at the end of the video, I will give you my all-encompassing thoughts and review on the product so that hopefully you can determine if it's something you would be interested in or not, or if it's just for entertainment, thumbs it up. But yeah, I will see you guys in a moment for look number 2. Okay, so for look number 2, we're going to do something a little bit different. I have my eye primer on. I'm going to take my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder, and I'm going to set the lids with this and see what kind of outcome we get with this method. It's not something I particularly want to do, but I do typically at some point in my routine reach for a loose powder so I could just leave it open and it wouldn't feel like as much of an extra step. Or at least that's my thought process. Okay, so for look number 1, we used this gorgeous shimmer here. For look number 2, I think I'm going to use this one. And I know I just said shimmer, but I think they're definitely more of, well, they're called shimmers, but in my mind, they're definitely more of a metallic. So I'm going to reach into this shade right here, and I'm just going to go in with my finger and apply this like I did the other one. And I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely not applying as pretty as the other one since we don't have that tacky base. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into it with a brush like this. And then I'm going to spray with setting spray just to kind of wet that product down and see if we can't get a better payoff. Looking like a no. God, this is so lackluster compared to the first look we did. Because the first look was very boom ba boom, but I think it was also very metallic-y because we were going directly in on a sticky base. But that, as you saw, was already starting to crease when I finished my makeup. So, not to spoil, the end of the video, but it didn't really get better from there. So I wanted to try a new technique. And I guess if you're someone that wants a more subtle shine, this is gonna get you there. But I don't know. Typically, if I'm reaching for a shimmer, I'm wanting a little bit of that vavoom quality. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and it's not giving that. Now I'm going to go into the brown shade here, and I'm going to just apply this on the outer corner there. Similar to how I did, exactly how I did in the first look. But I'm trying to keep it very light because this shimmer is much lighter and less impactful. So I'm just like blending it out. Okay. So I think that's going to be it shadow-wise. I'm going to pop off. And I'm going to finish the rest of the look, and then I'll be back. Okay, so here is the finished look. It's not ugly, but it's just very lackluster in my opinion. Like, there is like no sparkle, there is some shine. I just feel like it's very blah. And I think if you're looking for something really muted down and simplistic, because it almost looks like mattes with just like a little bit of a sheen, then I do think that you would potentially enjoy this. However, if I'm using a shimmer, I want it to shimmer. I want it to be sparkly. Like, I want that twinkly effect. And, I didn't mind that it was a more metallic finish in the first look, because in the first look, the metallic finish was wet, high shine, very beautiful. But this is what it looked like at the end of the day. I had intense creasing. It was so bad, which made it clear to me that I cannot wear this formulation on top of a like a primer, an eyeshadow primer. So I'm not going to be able to get that wet effect like we saw in look 1 because it's going to crease. And I know some people don't mind creasy eyeshadow, or they're like, I can just tap it out throughout the day. That's not me. I don't want to tap it out for $90. I shouldn't have to tap it out. I don't want it to be creasy. So it's just, that's a no for me, which is why we tried the powder down today, which will hopefully help with the creasing. But to be honest, because of the powder, the metallic shimmer formula really just didn't shine at all. The powdered down base really took away the magic from that formulation and dulled it down, which just isn't appealing to me. For $90, this isn't bringing anything to my collection. And I have 2 other Tom Ford quads that I absolutely love. They're so sparkly, shimmery, gorgeous, easy to work with. Love them. But there is just nothing magical about this. And in the promo shots of this palette, it's clear to me now that I've tested it, they were doing those over just like a tacky base, because the payoff in the photos is a very high shine, wet foiled metallic, absolutely stunning, but there's no way that that shadow lasted throughout the whole photo shoot. They had to have been doing something, because to get that kind of payoff, it's gonna crease. So I was gonna do a third look with this, but I'm not. Like, that's just a waste of time at this point. I know now, like, I'm not gonna be able to get the finish that I want from this look while not using a tacky base. And I'm not interested in a $90 palette that gives me this really basic, underwhelming look. I have plenty of other shadows that I can achieve something like this if I wanted to, I guess. I don't even know. It's just so lackluster. I actually don't know. But I don't want to look like this. So if I don't have something like that, that's fine with me. And already, I mean, I'm starting to see a bit of a crease forming here through the center. And we set it down with a powder. So to me, this formulation is just not it. If you're wanting longevity, if you're wanting high shine, like very, here I am, this isn't gonna be it. I can't get past the creasing. I'm the wrong one. I just can't stand creasy shadow. I can't do it. So this for me is gonna be a unfortunate flop, which was really disappointing. I was so excited for this palette, but the formula is just not what I've come to know from the two Tom Ford quads that I have. In fact, we have plans. We're going somewhere. So I'm going to add a little bit of this Bobbi Brown single in the shade Moonstone. Just because, like I said, I need some freaking sparkle on this bitch. Like, I need sparkle. Oh, yes. And I don't know if you guys can see that on your end, but wow, this is so sparkly. And that's just like what I want, you know? I want the sparkle, especially if I'm like those Tom Ford quads are kind of to be more like effortless, easy, whatever. Like they bring the high fashion to like a simple look. And I was not getting that, unfortunately. So like I said, for me, that quad is going to be a pass. Hopefully, this helped you in some way if you have been eyeing it. I would skip it based on my personal preferences, but maybe based on your preferences, this is something you're looking for. Either way, hope this video was helpful, and if you stayed till the end, thank you so much for hanging out. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!